They're dealing with the dust. Every day people are living in fear so they can provide you with your junkie habit, TVA, coal. There is no such thing as clean coal. Clean coal is a myth. It is science fiction. It has never happened. When you're blowing up highland watersheds to get that coal, there is no such thing as clean coal. Coal is dangerous, depleting, and destructive. And you are facilitating this destruction of geologic proportions that will literally be a curse on future generations so you can continue your habit. Coal. You have to change, TVA. We need a new deal, a new green deal, and you're going to give it to us, but we're going to do whatever we can to organize and structure and let people know what's actually happening. When you say clean coal, it means destroyed watersheds, wrecked air quality, massive ash piles, climate change, and global warming. Just a pleasure just to breathe. It is so sad that the children in this area don't know what clean air feels like deep in their lungs. They're used to air as being something
On December 22nd, the largest environmental disaster of its kind happened less than an hour away from where we stand right now, when a dike broke and a tsunami of 1.6 billion gallons of sludge from a TVA coal-fired power plant busted into the Emery River, Clinch River, and onto residential areas. So I'm here today to share with you questions that community has for TVA. Some of the many questions they have. Did TVA have any advanced knowledge that there was a problem with this dike? Yeah. What disaster management experience does TVA have for cleaning up this disaster? Did TVA notify the Red Cross when the spill happened? No. Did TVA notify the railroad before the spill happened?
Yes.
How many high-volume air monitor stations is TVA setting up in Swan Pond? Has TVA evacuated everyone that has requested evacuation?
No.
Has TVA tested the residents for heavy metal exposure?
No.
What is your exact timeline for full removal of the ash and recovery of the community that was impacted?
Never.
Are TVA harassing volunteers from non-governmental organizations gathering independent samples?
Yes.
Did you tell people to boil their water the first few days after the spill?
Yes.
How many gallons of water did TVA distribute for the first 4 days after the disaster?
0.
How many trauma counselors did TVA make available to the victims of this disaster?
0.
What medical testing program does TVA have in place to assure the residents and workers do not become contaminated with heavy metals?
None.
One of the geniuses of Mahatma Gandhi was somebody just brought up his name, was his ability to identify basic resources that people needed and based his actions upon that. The salt march is being one example. Well, salt is important to our bodies, but no one can go without breathing. Air. Air is something that is a basic human need, a need of all the animals that have the misfortune of sharing this planet with our demented, coal-addicted species at this time. Coal is a 19th century technology that bought a 20th century PR firm to convince us they belong in the 21st century. They do not. Our theme today is that from the cradle to the grave, coal is destructive, depleting, and dangerous. There is no such thing as clean coal. There never can be any such thing as clean coal. All they do is all that stuff that's in the ash is toxic stuff that they mostly got out of the air. But we're getting to breathe West Virginia right now. Right now, breathe deep into your lungs, Kentucky. Breathe into your lungs, and places as far away as Wyoming, where they're doing now what they call aquifer removal mining to feed disrepation addicts addiction. So, thank you so much. It's about the water that's falling from the skies today. It's about the air that we're breathing. It's about the basic human necessities that we and future generations must have to stay alive on this planet. And you all have come here today to stand up for that, for the very future, for how we live for our children not to have bronchitis, have to deal with deaths of slow asphyxiation when they get older and they're carrying those little blue tanks around with them. That's what you're here for today, and there's nothing more right, more appropriate, more timely, and at the right time and place. One last note, too. In terms of the tradition that you all are part of, look to the other end of this park. What do you see? Cast in bronze. Women holding signs, picketing, just like you are. The tradition that got women the right to vote, when in the past they were lumped with convicts and felons when they were denied that right. You are the tradition that got, Martin Luther King. You are the law tradition that has changed things all the way back to the Boston Tea Party. You are part of a tradition that once used to be called being an American.
Using coal is two thefts. It is a theft of the environment, health, and heritage of Appalachian communities. Then it is a theft of the safe climate our ancestors handed down to us from all the future human generations to come. The coal TVA burns today will haunt our descendants for 1,000 years to come in the form of climate change. It is a displacement of cost across time to people we will never meet. We are at the front lines in the grassroots effort to stop climate change. The front lines in preventing the biggest theft in human history. My friends, by being here today, we not only stand with Appalachian communities being devastated by the life cycle of coal, but we also stand with communities across the world facing the impacts of climate change.
Coal, not the product to be bought and sold, not to be mined, oil and coal.